What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I did want to make this video today going over something I have been thinking about for a minute now, and that is going to be fairly simple. Where are the new bikes in Motorfest? Now, the main reason why I mention this though is we all do know right now Motorfest is obviously getting lots of cars. I mean, it is going to be a mainly focused racing game, but you know what's funny though that I was thinking about? For a game that's supposedly focused on more than just cars, is only getting new cars added to it. I do know not everybody is flying around in planes or driving boats, but name another racing game besides Grand Theft Auto to where you can use a motorcycle, a boat, and a plane and also a car, monster trucks and all kinds of stuff. Like, there's not that many games out there where you can do it. So I was thinking about this though. Isn't that going to make the crew probably hit a bigger audience because a lot more players are like, yo, wait a minute, we can ride bikes in this game? That is dope. Like, how many open world racing games can you actually race bikes? And I mean, there's not that many of them. So now we actually have that into Motorfest. But here's the thing. The last time they actually added a new bike into the game, I think there was one in Motorfest that, well, nobody actually asked for at all for that matter. But even in the Crew 2 though, there was no new bikes added for legitimately years, and it was mainly focused on cars. I just feel like in some way players have been asking for this, including myself. I have been noticing a lot more comments on Instagram or even Twitter, which is X, of people going, yo, where's the new bikes at? Can we get new bikes? Instead, they're basically adding even more cars, which, don't get me wrong, guys, I like it. The car list in Motorfest is amazing. Like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. But also, I have to say this right now, I am a bike guy. Like, I love motorcycles. If you guys are wondering, I actually ride in real life. I have a KTM Duke 890R. I legit love motorcycles. Before the Duke 890, I actually had a BMW S1000R. I love that thing. I love BMWs. I love KTMs. Riding has for some reason been with me for a very long time. I love it. I've actually been riding motorcycles now for almost 8 years legit. I actually think the end of this year is going to be 8 years, so I've been riding for a long time. And the thing about this though is, like, I've always enjoyed it. I love it. And the fact that the crew actually had motorcycles, I was so much more attracted to it. And now I'm actually really wanting newer bikes into the game. For example, can we get a new Ducati Panigale or something? Can we get an updated Super Duke? What about something like a new Kawasaki ZX-10R, even a new BMW S1000RR? Like, that would be sweet, man. It would be so dope to have newer bikes in the game, and I do feel like so many players would love it. I do know at the moment everybody's wanting, like, different cars like the GTR to be added, or, you know, basically all the new BMWs and all kinds of new cars to be added, but I have to say this, though, man, like, where's the love for the motorcycles? I feel like they should add some new ones to it, because they have mainly been focusing on cars. Again, I do know everybody's not riding bikes and they don't even care about the motorcycles at Motorfest, and we also probably know many don't care about the planes or the powerboats and stuff, but those are still going to be new Class NA racing game that most games don't have them, so that would most likely end up bringing new players into the game that might like motorcycles or even powerboats and who knows, even planes, and that way they can actually use those and enjoy those in like an open world type of racing game. That would be so dope, man. Like, I do not understand why we haven't seen any new motorcycles whatsoever. Like, don't get me wrong, again, I do know everybody wants cars, but like, can't you guys add some motorcycles on top of the cars being added? I mean, all you have to do is update some of the models and stuff like that. For example, like the BMW, even a new Ducati Panigale V4 or something would be insane. And I do feel like adding some new motorcycles to the ratio of the new cars being added would probably not be a big problem. We all do know everybody likes certain things in Motorfest, whether it's, again, motorcycles or cars and stuff, whereas I would say a majority of the player base is probably aiming toward the cars part of it, but there's also going to be a bike part as well, man. Like, for example, guys, let me mention this. We all do know we have the BMW S1000RR, we also have the Ducati Monster, and we also have the Kawasaki Ninja H2, the Ducati Panigale, and on top of that, we also have the KTM Super Duke. The funny thing about this to me, though, is all of the bikes are going to be 2014 to 2015 models. They are legit all insanely old, and most of these bikes, guys, were also in the Crew 1. That came out in 2014, I believe. Obviously, 10 years ago, the game is closed now, but all of those exact same bikes were also added into the Crew 2, and now we also got the exact same bikes in Motorfest. I mean, I do understand it, like, they're probably not focusing on the motorcycles, or who knows, maybe there's like an entire licensing thing to the game to where they can't even get them. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below if that can play a factor. I mean, a good example of this is we do know Kawasaki's Japanese, which Toyota is. And on top of that, though, we do have a good amount of Kawasaki's in the game already. Like we have the KX450, which is like a supermoto build and a motocross bike. We also have the rallycross version of her, like the rally raid version of it, which is technically a Dakar build of that bike. Then we also, of course, have the old Ninja and the H2. So why not add something like the brand new ZX-10R? Man, that would be so dope to have in there. Now, I do know when it comes to KTM, we obviously have the new MotoGP bike added, but why not add something like a newer KTM Super Duke to the game instead of having a 2015 model that was also in the Crew 1 and the Crew 2 and also in Motorfest? And the crazy part about this, though, is the newest bikes in Motorfest right now are going to be both of the KTM RC16 models. These are actually going to be 2022s. They are the newest bikes in the game. Funny thing is, guys, all the other bikes are around a 2018 or less and even a 2014 to a 2015 model. I just feel like having newer bikes in the game would be so dang dope, and they can easily add more motorcycles on top of adding the new cars that everybody is looking for. And the other crazy part, though, is Motorfest does have better car sounds, animations, and basically in every way better updated compared to the Crew 2. So imagine having updated bikes, guys, and also newer bikes that we can use on something like Maui when it comes out in November, or even, at least having new bikes we can use on the entire map that are actually going to feel newer, instead of always only getting new cars added. And I feel like the best way to do this, though, is let's make everybody happy, right? Let's add new cars to the game and also throw in like one or two bikes in every single update. And I do feel like that's probably the best way to do it. Like, keep adding the cars players want, but on top of that, add 2 or 3 bikes to every single update alongside of it. That way we're actually getting another fan base that really loves bikes, including myself. Like, imagine guys jumping on one day and seeing the brand new Ducati Panigale V4. That would be so dope. And then boom, we also have the brand new ZX-10R and also like a new KTM Super Duke. And who knows, maybe like the BMW can come out, or even something like the KTM SMCR. Like, that would be so dope to see all of these newer bikes being added alongside of the cars. Also, guys, fun fact, by the way, there's over 700 cars in the game, which is obviously insane. But when it comes to the bike part of it, though, there is only going to be a total of 47 bikes in the game, 2 of which are probably going to be the newest we have seen in the entire Crew franchise in around 5 years, man. Like, that is just, I honestly don't have any words for this at all. Do let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below, and would you also like to see some new motorcycles added alongside some of the cars in every update? I really do feel like that's probably the best way to do it, and also, it would make so many more people way happier.